Yo, I went undefeated at locals playing K9 Crystron going 4-0. This was pre-ban list, inclusion did just go to 1, which is relevant to some degree. There's some lines where you want a foolish inclusion for the reborn to access Skeletus, but I think the deck should still be fine. Probably just add in like foolish burial and the extra copies of Case to touch up your consistency. Anyway, let's get into the deck list. 3 copies of K9 66A Joe Cole. I'm not going to read all their names like that, don't worry. The K9 cards are one of the 3 archetypes out of Justice Hunters, and they're broken. Broken as fuck. All of them except for Lupus say you can normal summon them without tributing if your opponent has at least 2 cards in their hand. Jokul can also reveal herself in another level 5 to summon both from your hand, but they can't be used as Xyz material for a light monster. Then she has a Rhoda effect on her to add a non-aqua K9, which is any of them except for herself. 3 copies of Azuna. This card is an archetypal hand trap that says if your opponent has used a monster effect in the hand or grave, she can summon herself, and on summon, she's foolish for a K9 card. The card you're usually sending is Lupus, who says if this card is in your hand or grave, and your opponent has done a thing, he summons, and then he's a quick effect during your opponent's main phase, summon an Xyz using himself. So him and Azuna allow you to make rank 5s or Typhon on your opponent's turn, and usually it's pretty strong. Last K9 monster in the deck is 1 copy of Lantern. This card reborns a non-pyro K9, but has the same light lockout as Jokul, and he can search a K9 spell or trap. Just to show the rest of the K9 cards, a Case for K9 and Force Release. This card technically has 3 effects that could come up, but for the most part it's just Rhoda for a K9 monster, and Force Release is a quick play rank up spell for K9s that pops an opponent's card in the process. This can also reset itself, but for the most part that's irrelevant. For the Crystrons, 3 copies of Sulfador. This is the main thing you want to be revealing off of Jokul, and that play is essentially clicking the I win button. I got hit with Fua, I got hit with Droll, I got hit with Imperm Veiler Ash, and none of it was enough to stop that. Not all in one game, of course. It was across the locals, but yeah, this combo is fucking disgusting. Then 2 Sulfefnir, 1 Thisfern, 1 Smiger, and 1 Tristeros. I think a lot of builds are cutting Thisfern because he's not totally necessary. Playing him does give you more ways to get Tristeros on the board, and I'd imagine he's a lot more necessary with 1 inclusion because you can just go Sulfador, send Thisfern, Sulfefnir to essentially summon any Crystron from deck, which is a play I did often in this locals, because it lets you save your normal for a K9 monster, and keep the reborn from inclusion for something like Skeletus so you can have access to the double pop from Cluster. I'll show the other Crystron cards here because I might as well. 3 inclusion and 1 cluster. I've seen people start to side cluster because trap card's bad, XD. I don't know, if you meaningfully get interrupted or you get hit with a massive board breaker or just don't open any K9 cards, it's a nice card to fall back on. To finish talking about the engine cards, 1 copy of Scrap Recycler. This is how K9 bridges into Crystron. 2 5s make Infinitrack River Stormer, and you normal this, and it can send Smiger or whatever else you need. You can also link this off into Clockwork Knight and tribute the River Stormer to reborn this, and this is a soft once per turn. Pretty good. Never summoned it at this locals. Then 3 Chaotic Elements. This card has a lot of text on it that makes it sound obscenely broken, but it was just Rhoda for Jokul or Lantern. Moving on to the non-engine, 3 copies of Fuelos and 3 Perulia. I wasn't sure on Perulia, but the idea beyond these cards just being broken inherently is that you might force a deck that normally wouldn't play into Azuna activate Ash Blossom, and that exact thing did happen at this locals. I was playing against Yummy, a deck that is intentionally designed to not play into K9 cards. I went Perulia, they chained Ash, I opened Exodia, so naturally I went Fuelos, and then I drew Azuna. But yeah, Perulia wasn't bad or anything, it just felt like there might have been better options for my locals, maybe Bell or Ogre. Then I was on Ash and Imperm. These cards were good. Then the last cards in the main deck was a playset of Droplet. I never activated this card, I opened it a couple times, but it was just not a good card to see, which I figured might be the case. This card is never cracking a full end board going second, it's getting negated by Flame against Draco Tail, and again, there's just better cards this could be instead. The main reason I wanted to play this card over Super Poly was because I wanted to have a good card for stun. It's nice to be able to clear your field for Charmies if you get interrupted, and it's a solid card when you're going first to stop your opponent's turn 0 shenanigans. But to be honest, I think I'd swap Perulias and Droplet out for just 6 more basic hand traps in the future, like Veiler Nib or Ogre Nib, some shit like that. For the extra deck, Clockwork Knight and SP. Never summoned either of these. 2 copies of Ripper. This is a generic rank 5 that searches a K9 card, but sometimes maybe it can search too, and it's just Gravedigger's Trap Hole. This card is absurd. Summon 3 Nib protection that searches you an extender or a hand trap, and you can drop this on your opponent's turn to stop them from like adding back Femina with Urgula or something. Card is fucking bonkers. And so is this guy. Here's the card you rank up into off of the quick play. Werewolf, 3300 attack, can attack up to the number of materials he has, not even on monsters. If your opponent does a thing, do a thing based on whose turn it is. If it's theirs, which it will be, you look at your opponent's hand and banish a card of your choosing until the end phase. He really does that. If it's your turn, he's a non-targeting banish from your opponent's field or grave, but I never even needed to do that. Generic rank 9, by the way. River Stormer, Durendal, I made this once just for the negate, it was okay. Predominantly the mana, another rank 5 you can make while being machine locked. That's a monster negate. He also has a wacky attack boost to out tricky to deal with monsters. Valen is a quick effect Book of Moon, and if he's sent to the grave, he pops a set card. Then Nova Infinity, and the last 2 Xyz monsters are just Typhon and Zeus. Dawn Dragster, and 1 Ella Skeletus for the Synchros. I know, it's hardly a Crystron deck at all. I wanted to play the 1 copy of Citri and Corian Gandrax just because I still think this deck lacks removal. Really, the only reason I didn't is because nobody else does, and the deck's still winning when they're playing it. I'll play it next time. For the side deck, 3 Nib, 3 Retaliating, 3 Droll, 1 Talents, 1 Called By, 2 copies of Case, Clockwork Knight, and Therian King Regulus. Bunch of these cards are decided when going first, just swapping out the Charmies. Nib and Droll both won me games. I opened Talents and Called By once in the same game, with Smyger as my only engine, and it got Dracotail horned back into the poop dimension, so I didn't get to abuse these cards. I brought Clockwork Knight in 1 time. This can be searched off of the Link one very easily in this deck, and it's a floodgate for Yummy and Fiendsmith decks, but alas, I never searched it because I got hit with some lingering floodgate. I don't know, it was either Fu or Droll. And that's the deck. I'm glad I got to play it once before it got hit. I think the deck's fun in the sense that you can get hit with hand traps no other deck is beating and be totally fine. As much as I kinda hate Ripper when I'm playing other decks, I think Jokul and Lantern feel really good to play with. Like, those cards are so insane that you kinda just want to shoehorn them into any deck that has a level 5 monster. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching!